How's it going, everybody? I'm Tamal. This is my friend Chloe. Welcome to BODHI. We're going to be doing a 30-minute legs and hips vinyasa practice. We're going to begin in child's pose. Let's come onto your hands and knees, tops of your feet flat on the mat. Sit on the heels, place your forehead to the earth, and either arms extend forward or arms down by your sides. And initially, we're just closing our eyes, dropping into this place of meditation. And what we're meditating on is the inhales and the exhales. We want to iron out any bumps in the roads, any inconsistencies that are kind of built in our lungs today, and look to create a clear pathway. Let's take a big inhale through the nose. Hold your breath at the top. Out of the mouth. Again, inhale deeply through the nose, holding at the peak. Let it go. Go back to breathing through the nose. Make your breath sound like you're fogging a mirror with your mouth shut. Find the audible ujjayi. And then let's extend your arms as far forward as they'll go. Spread your fingers wide so you're stretching even the webbing between the fingers. And then pull your tailbone and sit bones away from the arms so you feel a little tug across the low back. Let's tuck your toes, lift your knees, and find downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So in your down dog, you can pedal out your legs a little bit, shift your weight side to side, do any fidgeting that feels appropriate. You may find some little adjustments, snap, crackle, pops like popcorn in your joints. And then you just settle with the legs hips width. The heels should disappear behind the toes. The arms are shoulder width. Your fingers point forward, the hands spread wide, but if you have hypermobile arms or a carrying angle, you can always turn your fingers a little bit outward, and that's going to give you more structure all the way through the shoulder. And the forearms lift, the upper outer arms wrap down and around. And we start to build some momentum by pulling in the belly, and that should help carry your hips and the thigh bones back. And then on an inhale, let's drift to plank, top of a push-up, and pause. We'll stack your shoulders over the wrists, and emphasize the thumbs, the index, and the pinkies pressing down so the whole palm is in contact with the floor. The forearm, the radius and ulna, is going to turn a little bit inward, while the upper outer arm, the humerus, wraps back, and that's going to create a neutral position for the shoulder. Then we start to brace. The front ribs go in, the tailbone scoops towards the inner thigh so the frontal hip points lift. Notice if you're rounding in your upper back, think about drawing your heart, your sternum forward through the gateway of the arms as you press your thigh bones into the hamstrings. Take a big inhale. Then exhale, downward facing dog. Hips go up and back. So we'll do that again, just building a little bit of heat. Let's drift to plank, top of a push-up, and hold. This time, let's go to your forearms, Ardha Falakasana, and instead of interlacing your fingers together, I want you to rest the pinky finger sides of your hands on the mat like you're framing an invisible block. Of course, if you have a block at home, you can use it. And we're going to kind of karate chop the outer edge of the hands, wrists, and forearms into the floor. But then notice if your hands are close and your elbows are wide, do the opposite. Elbows closer, hands a little wider. And same thing, belly goes in, tailbone scoops towards the inner thighs. Let the low belly lift. One hand at a time, come back to upper push-up, and then back to downward facing dog. Let's run through some basic vinyasas to stretch it all out. On an inhale, drift to plank. As you exhale, lean way out, lower Chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog if you're ready. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Got two more coming. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, down dog. One more just breath cues. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So that looks great. Let's lift your right leg up and let's bend the knee and open up the hip. So notice how your chest wants to open up. And put most of your weight into your left hand and your left foot. Instead, I want you to get a little heavy in your right palm and lift the left armpit so the torso starts to square. You're isolating the opening to the low body. Come up high in the left toes, take a big inhale, and as you exhale, bring the right knee to your nose, shoulders are over the wrists. So we press the earth away, a little protraction in the shoulder to create space in the upper back, and then step your foot between the hands. Turn your back heel down, lead with the left arm. Let's come up warrior two. So since the theme today is legs and hips, these external standing poses like a warrior two, it's all hip openers. They're just very active hip openers. So we're lining up front heel to back heel, and your back foot's going to turn in a little bit, just like 10 degrees. In fact, in all the standing poses, your back foot is always turning forward at different degrees depending on the standing pose. We keep pressing the left thigh bone back into the hamstring. Notice if your right knee is kind of buckling inward and putting unnecessary strain in the inner knee, the MCL. I want you to extend forward to the inner right thigh and then to hug the outer right hip in. Then just like we did in our plank, the tailbone should scoop under. The belly lifts, the chest lifts. The arms press down, but they don't drop. Let's place your right forearm on top of your right quadricep. Have the right palm face up, then turn your left hand down, reach over your own head. Have the left bicep hang pretty low, like an inch or two above the cheek, and look to straighten that left arm out. The work here is getting long through the sides of the waist and then long through the sides of your neck, so we're not just kind of drooping into the posture. And then think reversed warrior, and on an inhale, go all the way up and back. And then exhale, you can windmill the hands down to the ground. Let's get out of there, step back to plank, and let's lower Chaturanga. Inhale, back bends. Exhale, downward facing dog. So let's lift the left leg up. Let's bend the knee and open up the hip. So again, notice if your chest is getting lopsided. Now we're trying to lift the right armpit, getting heavier in the left palm. Come up high on the right toes. Let's take the left knee to the nose. Round in the upper back. Find the flexion of the spine. Step it through. Back heel down, lead with the right arm. Come all the way up, warrior two. So again, we just adjust it and widen the stance so the left thigh is parallel with the floor. It's a short class. So we really want to maximize the experience of each pose by fully expressing them. You're setting up the front heel to back heel, and your back foot angles in at 10 degrees. Your right thigh bone is pressing back, the inner left thigh is tracking forward, the outer left hip is U-turning and hugging in. The tailbone hugs under, the belly draws in and up, the arms press down but they don't drop. And then we place your left forearm on top of the left quad. Let's turn your right hand down, reach over your own head, getting that right arm pretty straight. And then maybe you wrap the right tricep towards the floor so the right pinky angles down and the right thumb starts to point up towards the sky. So just clearing out any congestion that may be in the shoulders. Think reversed warrior, and on an inhale, come all the way up and back. And then exhale, windmill the hands down to the ground. Let's step back to plank and let's lower Chaturanga. Inhale, back bends. Exhale, downward facing dog. So that looks great. Let's come up high on your toes. Let's bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step or hop to the front. Inhale, glance out. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, open your arms and rise to standing. Circle your arms overhead, palms kiss at the top. Prayer in front of the heart. We'll do Surya Namaskar. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, fold your body forward. Inhale, glance out. Then exhale, step or jump back, Chaturanga. Inhale, back bends. Exhale, downward facing dog. So we're going to do one more round of those, and then we will take another detour. Come up high in the toes, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step or float. Inhale, glance out. Exhale, fold. Inhale, open the arms and rise. Exhale, prayer in front of the heart. Inhale, reach. Exhale to fold. Inhale, flat back. Then exhale, step or jump back, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So we'll lift your right leg up to the sky. Bend the knee, open up the hip. Come up high in the left toes. This time take the right knee under and across your body to your left elbow, shoulders over wrists. Press the earth away, maybe to lift the knee higher, closer towards the tricep or armpit. Now we'll take the knee to the nose, step it through, back heel down, lead with the left arm, come up warrior two. So the trick of this class is these active standing postures are stimulating the hamstrings, glute muscles, quadriceps, but we're also opening up the hips continually. Let's place your right hand down on the outside of your right shin and calf on the floor. Turn your left hand down, reach over your head. So it's the deeper, more expressive version of the Parsvottanasana now, the side angle pose. I like to press the outer right leg against the inner right arm, and that's going to help carve the right sit bone under and helps turn the chest towards the sky. We drop anchor in the pinky toe side of the back foot, so the inner left arch, calf, and thigh lifts. It gets buoyant. And we always have to just kind of hang out in it. Breathe into it. Chloe's got an awesome poker face going on right now, acting like it's nothing. I think reversed warrior, and on an inhale, come all the way up and back. And then exhale, windmill the hands down to the ground. Let's step back to plank. Let's lower Chaturanga. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. So we'll lift the left leg up. We'll bend the knee, open up the hip. Come up high in your right toes. Take the left knee under and across to the right elbow. Press down to lift the knee higher. Knee to nose. Step it through. Back heel down, lead with the right arm, come up warrior two. So whenever we get into these external standing postures, we just widen the stance a bit. Now we can place the left hand down on the outside of the left shin and calf. Then we turn the right hand down, reach over your head. We're gluing the outer left leg against the inner left arm. We're thinking about trying to bunch up the center of your yoga mat, so you're like energetically dragging your heels inward. And that's going to help you create power through the midline. It'll help you access your mula bandha, your pelvic floor. And we breathe. Hanging out in our side angle. Now think reversed warrior, and on an inhale, come all the way up and back. And then exhale, windmill the hands down. Let's step back. Let's lower Chaturanga. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. So let's come up high on your toes. Bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step or hop. Inhale, glance out. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, chair pose. Sit low, reach high, Utkatasana. Exhale, stand up. Same exhale, prayer in front of the heart. Surya Namaskar B. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale to folds. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose. Step it through. Back heel down, we're coming up to warrior one. Reach straight up to the sky. Then exhale, hands come down. We step back, we lower Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose. Step it through. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Exhale, hands come down. We step back, we lower Chaturanga. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. So we only have one more round of that coming. Let's rise high in your toes. Bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step or spring. Inhale, glance out. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, stand. Prayer in front of the heart. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose. Step it through. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Exhale, hands come down. We step back. We lower chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose. Step it through. Inhale, rise, Virabhadrasana. Exhale, hands down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, down dog. Perfect. So, let's step your feet together. Let's drift to plank. Kick both heels to the right. Send your left arm up to the sky for side arm balance Vashisthasana. If you want to modify, you can always drop your right knee to the floor underneath your right hip for more support. Otherwise, we take the top arm, reach it overhead, palm face down. We look to stack your hips, which means your right hip needs to pull back to the right and your left hip needs to drift a little bit to the left, and you should feel like you're almost going to topple over, and then you know you're doing it right. And then the front ribs go in. Room's getting warmer. Reach the left arm up, left hand down, switch sides, both heels to the left, send your right arm up. So again, you can always modify by dropping the left knee. Otherwise, the top arm reaches overhead. Keep the big toes touching, maybe separate the heels a little bit. And as the hips are stacking, the tailbone is scooping towards the space between those heels, creating that posterior tilt. Let's reach your right arm up, right hand down, top of a push-up, pause and plank. We're going to do 2 push-ups. Take a big inhale, and as you exhale, lower halfway, elbows and hold. Push yourself back up. Oh, one more lower halfway. Back on up, and then downward facing dog. Great job, guys. So let's lift your right leg up. Let's bend the knee and open up the hip. Let's come up high in the left toes. Flip your dog. Drop the right foot to the left. Take the right hand off the mat. Reach it up and overhead. Lift more from the chest. You're creating this upper back bend versus the low back bend. Come back to the 3-legged dog, right hand to the mat, right leg to the sky. Take the right knee to your right elbow. Shoulders over wrists. Press down to lift the knee a little higher. Now we'll take the knee to the nose. Step it through, back heel down, lead with the left arm, warrior 2. So many external standing poses. Let's place your right hand down in the inside of your right foot on the floor. Let's drop the left arm behind your low back. You can either find the crease of the left hip with those, or the crease of the right hip with the left fingers, or you can go for the full bind where the right arm goes under the right hamstring. You grab a hold of your left fingers or wrist and pull the left arm down the back, opening the shoulder. Whatever variation you're in, we're trying to lean our shoulder blades towards the right, so you just open the pose up. And we breathe. Inhale, exhale. It's always amazing to me how much you can get done in 30 minutes. We've already done our warm-ups, our A series, our B series, and it's still going. Let's come up warrior 2. Not out of the woods yet. Let's place your right forearm on top of the right quadricep. Turn the left hand down, reach over your head. So to make this pose a little bit different, I want you to take your right elbow and slip it to the inner right knee and thigh. And then press your right elbow against your inner right knee and thigh. So now we're not just kind of dumping our weight on the top of the thigh, but rather we are now really wedging our right arm against the right leg, and that's going to activate our legs even more. Think reversed warrior, and on an inhale, come all the way up and back. Then exhale, windmill the hands down. Let's step back. Let's lower chaturanga. Inhale, back bends. Exhale, downward facing and dog. So let's lift your left leg up. Let's bend the knee, open up the hip. Come up high on those right toes, then flip your dog. Drop the left foot to the right. Take the left hand off the mat. Reach it up and overhead. Lift from the chest. We come back, 3-legged dog, left hand to the mat, left leg to the sky, square the hips. Take the left knee to the left elbow, shoulders over wrists. Press down to lift the knee higher. Knee to nose. Step it through. Back heel down, lead with the right arm, come up warrior 2. The last side, and then we get to start to cool down, guys. So we'll place the left hand down on the inside of your left foot. We drop the right arm behind the back. You either stay here trying to find the crease of the left hip, or you take the full bind. It's your call. We're just leaning the shoulder blades towards the left. And if you're doing the full bind, you're really pressing your hands against the outer left glute, thigh, and hip to kind of tuck it under. We have to really warm the muscles before we get into like deep pigeon postures and other hip openers. And that's what the goal of this whole practice was today. Tone, strengthen, and open. Let's come up, warrior two. Place your left forearm on top of the left quad. Turn the right hand down, reach overhead. So again, we're going to slip that left elbow to the inner left thigh. Press the inner thigh against the elbow to help activate the legs further. These ones will keep you honest. Think reversed warrior, and on an inhale, come all the way up and back. Then exhale, windmill the hands down. Let's step back, let's lower Chaturanga. Inhale, back bends. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take a big inhale through your nose, and let's hold your breath at the top. Out of the mouth. Let's lift your right leg up. Lunge your right foot between your hands. Drop the left knee. Release your left toes and take a moment to scoot that left leg further back. And then go for the pigeon, walking the right foot across the mat to the left hand, dropping the right knee to right hand. If you want to put a block or rolled up towel underneath your right glute muscle for support, that's always a good option. Otherwise, you can go to your forearms, lie all the way into it. We'll be here for a good minute. And we breathe. It's like when we get into our cool down, we've earned it. You know, we've done all this work to get our body to a place where it is receptive and open. Soaking in the benefits of the fruits of our effort. Let's come onto your hands. Let's tuck your back toes, pick up your back knee, find downward facing dog. You can shake it out, pedal it out. We'll lift the left leg up. We'll lunge the left foot forward. Drop the right knee, release the right toes, and take a moment to scoot that right leg further back. It's important to find the space, and then go for your pigeon. Walking the left foot to the right, dropping the left knee to the left. Go to your forearms or lie all the way into it. Use props if you need props. We breathe. Let's come onto your hands. Tuck your back toes. Find downward facing dog. So again, from down dog, you can pedal it out, you can shake it out. And then we're going to lower your knees to the floor and pause there. Let's turn to your right the long way on your mat. So once you turn to the right, the long way inner mat, you're going to open your knees nice and wide for frog pose. So you can turn all the way your head, everything that way. Go ahead, on all fours. We'll go like this. Go ahead, facing direction as me, and then we're going to open your knees up. You can turn that way. Yeah. And then you're going to open your knees as wide as they'll go and get your feet the same width as the knees. That's the most important part. If you need to fold the corners of your mat up to give yourself some extra cushion underneath the legs, it's always a nice option. Just a deep hip opener. And we breathe. We're here for a minute. And if you have tight hips, this is never that fun. But if you have tight hips, you also know this is like medicine. Opening up all the tissue. So we'll come onto your hands, and the first thing you want to do is bring your feet together, then your knees together. Oh. Turn to face the front of your mat, cross one ankle over the other, sit behind your feet, swoop your legs through to the front. Extend your legs straight out in front of you, grab a hold of your butt, move your glutes out of the way, then move the bottoms of your thighs out of the way. Inhale, reach your arms up, sit up real tall, then exhale, hinge and fold forward, Paschimottanasana. If you're holding onto your feet, you want to pull the outer edges of your feet back and press the inner edges of your feet forward. And then from here you can sit up. Scoot forward a little bit more and lay on your back. Setting up for Shavasana. Have your legs extended out, feet, knees, and palms dropped open. Your eyes are closed. We'll take a big final inhale through the nose, holding at the top. Out of the mouth. Let your body rest. Jayarada Madhava Kunjabiyadi Gopijana Valava Giri Vardade Yasaudanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tiravana Jayarada Madhava Kunja Bihare Gopijana Valava and Girivardhare Yasaudanandana Rajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachare Jayarat Hamadhava Kunja Bihare Gopijana Valava and Girivardhare Yasaudanandana Rajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachare. Together, take a big inhale through your nose. Hold your breath. Let it go. Look at your fingers, your toes, bring movement back to the body. And with your eyes still shut, let's roll over to your right side. And with your eyes still closed, let's come up to seated. Sit up tall, take your hands at prayer in front of your heart. Follow your breath. Let's bow our head. Namaste.